Hey all, if you have watched any of my videos or visited my channel, you've possibly noticed this picture, which is my icon. And I want to just tell a story about this photo. I took it on, I guess it was May 3rd, 2010, from a megabus in Midtown Manhattan. And Megabus is a company that they run like a cheap double-decker bus between different cities in the Northeast, between like Boston and New York, maybe Philadelphia and New York, but also between Albany and New York City. And I picked the bus up in Rensselaer. I've taken it a few times. Been a while, but pick it up in Rensselaer and it drops you off somewhere, I think, around Madison Square Garden. And I was going to New York City to visit, actually, no, to go to a memorial service for my confirmation sponsor for, when I became a Catholic. He had passed away shortly before then, and we had a service for a memorial mass for him. Anyways, the photo is what I wanted to get into. Not so much knowing that there's a story behind it, but just that I really think sometimes the best photographs you get are ones where you're just shooting on the sly. And a double-decker megabus in Midtown Manhattan was a great opportunity for this. I had grabbed the bus, I think maybe mid-afternoon on Sunday, and taken the next day off from work to go to this funeral or this memorial service. And you could see people lining up for it. They're just snapping shots along the way, bored. It's about a 2.5 hour drive to New York City from Albany. You see people sleeping, pictures along the roadway. I remember getting to New York City, and I had lived there for years, but I had moved out a few years before. But I never took photos when I lived in New York City. So I remember just carrying my camera hip level, getting some shots, around Midtown on a Sunday afternoon in New York City at about that time, 2010, when the city was easier to visit, I think, certainly safer. Probably not much cheaper, but I just remember shooting from the hip, so to speak, that whole trip. I remember this guy eating his ice cream. I might have talked about this woman in the video. I actually remembered her from nearly 10 years before. It was very sad. She was I worked at a bookstore nearby in Union Square, and she was a person who came in a lot. Not looking very well, addicted to opioids. But I remember seeing her like in 2010, probably 5-6 years after the previous time I'd seen her, and just amazed that she was still alive, hoping that she's still alive today, some 12 years later. Picture of Mike Bloomberg. I just remember walking around Union Square with my camera, waiting to meet up with a friend to crash on his couch overnight. Dudes skateboarding. It was nice. These were things when I lived in New York City. I don't think I ever took pictures there. Interesting things you see in New York. Dude going through the trash. Is he? I don't know. I'm looking at his feet right there, and I'm seeing tissues or something. I don't know. Those are the kind of things in New York that they're a blessing and a curse. Subway. Look at this dude. He sees me. I see him. I remember getting to Astoria. I stayed at my friend's place. I walked around. Got a creepy picture of a fish eating another fish. Next morning, pictures on the subway again. Cop. This is Midwood around Brooklyn College. A lot of Orthodox Jews there. Not the biggest fans, I'm sure, of having their picture taken, but, shooting from the hip. New York City, I don't know, DOT people. These dudes actually wanted me to take their picture. A bagel place. I remember I used to go to this place when I went to Brooklyn College. Not sure what Vinny's is. There's Brooklyn College where I went. There's the old field. I don't even know if there's that fit still exists anymore. They built so much of that college. But if you ever want to read something neat, there's these like green parrots. They're like a hybrid pigeon parrot that exist at Brooklyn College. They came from a pet store or something that were let loose. I don't know. Look it up. But I remember just feeling comfortable to shoot from the hip there in New York. And on my way home the following day, on Monday, after my sponsor's memorial service, just sitting there in the megabus, I think it was on the second level, and taking pictures and getting a picture of this gentleman somewhere in Midtown eating this pretzel, reading this book. And I don't even think, I'm looking at him right there, I don't think that this guy right here was staring at him at all. Not necessarily. It was just one of those moments for me. It was so normal for New York, but maybe strange to see in a camera. Like seeing the frozen frame, the leg held up in the air, the pretzel in one hand, the book in the other, the attentiveness, and all those pieces of gum on the sidewalk, just all that detritus right there. But nevertheless, the concentration, the ability of this man to just tune out the sounds of the city. And I like that photo. I come back to it sometimes. I took it on the sly, and I like it. I remember getting a couple other shots from the bus, maybe. This guy in the crosswalk, a little out of focus, but I like it. And a cab driver reading, looks like the Financial Times, maybe. But anyways, just wanted to, share that story of that photo right there, somewhere in Midtown Manhattan, May 3rd, 2010. Anyways, God bless you. Have a great day.